story, and you refuse to go to sleep without a story. You nasty little creatures. All right then, you shall have a story. But I must warn you, children, that a story can be a very dangerous animal indeed. But if you insist upon a story, then a story you must have. And a very pretty story it is too, with a very happy ending. Once upon a time, when I was a little girl, the city of Hamlin was overrun with rats. Oh, children, there were rats everywhere. There were rats in the cellars, and rats in the attics, rats in the cupboards and rats in the privies, rats in the church and rats in the town hall. Rats, 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 nibbling and squeaking and crawling and hanging and running and biting and hissing and scuttling. Rats, rats, rats. They licked the soup from ladles and bit the babies in their cradles, made nests in hats, and ate the cats. The people of Hamlin tried everything to get rid of the rats. They poisoned them and trapped them and stepped on them and burned them. But for every rat they killed, there seemed to be 100 more. It was a horrifying thing. We would go to sleep at night and dream of rats, and wake up, and rats would be crawling on the bed, nibbling at our faces. It was a desperate situation, children. But then one day, a stranger appeared in the town. He was a tall, stooped, sharp-faced man in a piebald suit with deep blue eyes and a pipe in his knapsack. This odd-looking stranger made his way to the town hall, where he informed the mayor that for a considerable fee, he would guarantee to rid the town of all the rats. And as this stranger spoke, his long, twisted fingers moved like spiders at the end of his hands, as if they were trying to crawl away from him. It was an enormous fee the rat catcher demanded, but the people were desperate, and so the mayor swore to pay. So the rat catcher stood in the center of town, before the town hall, and with an odd little smile on his face, took the pipe from out of his knapsack, and he began to play. Quietly at first, an eerie song, a mournful thing, a song that seemed at once so strange and yet familiar, as if it were a song I heard when I was somebody else, in a time before I was born, someplace in a dream, in another story I lived, before I was a little girl in Hamlin. And at first, there was nothing, just the eerie music. And then there was a rustling and a squeaking, and then one rat appeared, his nose sniffing the air, confused, uncertain. And then another, and another. The rats began to come. 1, and then 3, and then 7. Dozens of rats, hundreds of rats, thousands of rats, brown rats, black rats, gray rats, streaming down the cobbled alleys, down the rain spouts, up the basement steps, out of the sheds, and up out of the wells. The rats came, thousands and thousands of rats. The square was an ocean of rats. We were all running to climb on wagons and walls to escape them. So many rats, uncountable rats, a slithering, squeaking carpet of rats, an ocean of rats, 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 all drawn to the piper's music. And so the piper began to walk from the town towards the river, still playing his pipe as he walked. And the rats followed him. And when he came to the river, he walked into the water and stood just a few feet from the bank. And the rats began to follow him into the river. Rat after rat after rat, all hopping into the water. Plop, plop, plop. Thousands and thousands of rats all into the water until there was just one rat left. The queen of the rats. An enormous, enormous rat who glared at the piper as if she'd known him in another life and jumped into the river after the rest. And the people of Hamlin cheered and hoisted the rat catcher up on their shoulders and carried him Surely you didn't really believe we had the sum you asked for. We were desperate and you saved us and we're grateful. Now take these handful of pennies and go. You swore, said the rat catcher, staring at the mayor with his bright blue eyes. You swore to pay what I asked if I removed the burden from the town. Don't be a troublesome fellow, said the mayor. Take these pennies with our thanks and go. And so the rat catcher bowed, a strange little bow, and said he would collect his fee at a later time and walked away. And the good people of Hamlin congratulated the mayor on making such a shrewd bargain. That night, when all the people of Hamlin were asleep, the rat catcher made his way into the dark and empty town square of Hamlin, where he took up his pipe again, and once again began to play his eerie song. And the mayor stirred in his sleep and thought, how strange that the rat catcher should play in the night, when there are no more rats in all of Hamlin Town. But then, the people began to notice that their children were getting out of bed and walking down the halls, out of the houses, walking to the town square. Hundreds and hundreds of children, all the children of the town, drawn by the music. So the piper began to walk from the town, over the bridge, towards the mountain, and all the children followed. And he led them to the cave of the mountainside. And all the children marched into the cave. And when they were all inside, the earth collapsed. The children were trapped in a cavern deep inside the mountain. And inside the mountain, it was very dark. The children could hear the rush and gurgle of the river flowing through the cavern. And farther away, the sounds of their parents digging, trying desperately to reach them. But the more they dug, the more the earth would collapse. Inside the mountain, there in the dark, the children could see what looked to them like little pairs of red lights. 2, and then 2 more, and 2 more, and more, and more, until the cave seemed to be entirely full of these little red lights, like Christmas lights. But then, the children saw that the red lights were the glowing eyes of the rats. Hundreds of rats, thousands of rats, hungry rats, glaring at them in the dark, for the rats had swum up the river that flowed deep under the mountain into the cavern. And the rats were very hungry, and so the rats began to eat.